Many times we didn't like the wind. It was so windy you couldn't do your work sometimes, you know. And now we're harnessing the wind and it's paying off. Now we love the wind.
We were in the oil field business for 20 years. We were in the construction end of it. 96 and 97 was really rough for us. We crashed and burned. We were about to lose the ranch until the wind farm came in. This wind farm's what saved us. It's been a blessing.
It's going to change the way people look at you. It's going to change the way you farm, but in my opinion, it changes it for the better. This is the wave of the future because the wind's never going to stop blowing. We don't have to use any oil, natural gas, nothing. This is a renewable energy and it's a very smart investment.
We're standing here today at the Buena Vista Wind Farm in California. It's one of our 15 wind farms, and as you can probably see today, it's a great day to be a wind owner because the wind is ripping by us. Babcock & Brown financed its first wind farm in 1989, which was really the beginning of the wind industry here in the U.S. So we stand here today not only being one of the largest owners and developers of wind farms, but with a team that's been doing it for over 30 years.
Average wind farms that we have produce enough to power 30 or 40,000 homes, and some of our larger wind farms can produce enough for several 100,000 homes. Landowners are a really important part of a project. We're on their land. This is special to them. It's their family's heritage in many cases. So they are our partners.
I grew up on a ranch in California, and we raised cows and horses and so forth. So I have an understanding of what the typical landowner out here is looking at, and it's vitally important that we manage the land and are stewards to the land.
We've had 6 generations living on this land in the last 120 years. It hasn't been easy. We were what you call dirt farmers and dirt poor. But it was all right with me because I was living where I wanted to be. The mesa, we knew was windy. Everybody called it just a pile of rocks. None of us thought we would ever be of any value. And now it's worth a lot.
The U.S. is to wind as Saudi Arabia is to oil. There's more wind in the U.S. than there really is anywhere else. And so the opportunity is dramatic.
Once we've established that the landowners have reasonable interest in the project, then we put up our meteorological equipment, or the measuring equipment that we use to actually verify the wind speeds in the area.
And nobody around here knew anything about them. Nobody had ever seen a wind farm. Babcock & Brown approached me in 1999 to put up a Met tower, and I'm not going to kid you, we were making a good living farming. But I thought it's not always going to be like that, and this just cuts out of a whole bunch of the risk. Financially, it is a no-brainer.
We were hesitant. We were one of the last ones that signed up. We just didn't know if we wanted to do this, but it's just been nice. I don't have to worry about making my ranch payment every year anymore.
We almost always end up with multiple landowners with different pieces of land that are kind of all put together to create the footprint we're looking for to establish the wind farm in the best wind locations.
Get back from it a little bit. Don't go too close to them. I had several first cousins that didn't go along with it at all. They didn't want the mesa to be changed in any way. But we worked on it, and it became a reality.
Unfortunately, this process of getting a wind farm isn't always smooth. Getting a group of farmers together is like herding cats. It just doesn't happen. You get people who try to cut side deals. You get people that they got to have more than the next guy. Babcock and Brown made sure that everybody got the same turbine agreement, so the money's all the same. When I started talking to them, they were going to need local people. So I went to a night school, got some electrical training, and I actually got hired on to help construct the wind project. And it's worked out really well because I know all the neighbors. I deal with the landowners all the time. That's 3/4 of my job. So Clem, this is what you got. You can farm all the way up to the gravel. The gravel's about a 50-foot circle. Everything is right here. And you know, no guide wires, no nothing.
That's great.
Babcock and Brown is real good at hiring locals. This project, it was all union. So I bet you we had 125 guys out here for quite a while.
It's a very high activity location during construction. You have a lot of equipment that moves around. There can be, 300 or 400 people working on a site this size.
During the construction, it was noisy a little bit, but not bad. The bulldozers are coming in. Sometimes if the crane's going down the road, you're going to have to just wait. And it's a big crane, and it doesn't move very fast.
It was done within 9 months.
They did it real fast, definitely under a year. I feel that we were part of the building process. They contact us on almost all items, fences and cattle guards and whatever they're going to build there, we were part of it.
First turbines that we saw put up, they were just lifting the rotor up, the hub with the 3 blades. It was fabulous for us.
The way wind becomes energy, the wind blows and turns the blades, and then that goes into a shaft that turns the generator. The electrical line goes down the tower. The power gets transformed into different voltages and moves underground into a gathering system, and then it's sent down the transmission line into your home.
Part of the end of construction is the reclaiming of the land. Anything that was disturbed gets reseeded. Everything grows back. It more or less goes back to normal.
Babcock and Brown is very conscientious and focused environmentally on what we can do to be good stewards of the land. When we go into areas, we usually study for at least a year all the bird issues. We do fall and spring migration studies, track every bird and what elevation, height, and speed that they're going. We want to bring renewable energy forward and at the same time do it responsibly.
I was very concerned about what it would do to the deer, the wildlife there, but it doesn't seem to do anything wrong with it. The deer are hanging around by the towers, And I have cattle that goes up there, but it doesn't seem to bother them at all.
You can walk out there and the cows will be standing right up underneath them. They get used to anything.
I think it's a myth that the turbines, create such a disturbance that they run the wildlife off, that they run, your livestock off, and it's just not true. If anything, they like being around the turbines for the shade and so forth. They're pretty much unfazed. Got one barking at you.
As far as noise from the turbines, we don't have any. Every once in a while you'll hear a little swooshing sound, but it's a whole lot quieter in the oil field. You don't hear pump jacks squealing, and I'll go wind anytime.
My greatest fear was the noise issue. As farmers, we used to pump water with these things, and it was always ee when we didn't want anything like that, and it's nothing like that at all. We really like our country atmosphere out here, and we sit out on our deck and just watch them go around. They're hypnotic, giant, they're beautiful.
The scenery's different, but it's really peaceful watching these things.
I was very concerned how the mesa would look with windmills, with the big towers. But I believe it made it look better, a little majestic, I think, The
reason I recommend Babcock & Brown is they're a big company. They're going to be in this for the long haul. They don't build a wind farm and sell it. They build them and operate them. And with Babcock & Brown, it really feels like a partnership.
We are investing a little over $1 billion a year in the wind business. It's a core part of what we do. We're committed to doing it, and we're going to be doing it for a long time.
It's a win-win-win situation. The farmers win because they're basically harvesting the wind. The counties win because they get the property taxes, they get the roads, and the country wins because demand is going up 2% a year, and there's absolutely no emissions. That's the best thing about it. I used to despise the wind because it did damage to my buildings, it did damage to my crops, and now we've turned that adversary into an asset.
So, Dad, what's the wind gonna be like tomorrow?
I got 4 teenagers, they're all going to college.
Even if the wind don't blow, we're going to make a little. Maybe they should have come a little sooner. If they'd have come a little sooner, we'd have been a little better off.